They say the third floor of St. Agnes Care Home is cursed, not with ghosts, with memory. You start nights there, and eventually you stop answering. And when you stop answering, it starts remembering you. I didn't believe in curses. I believed in rent, in my sister's college fees, in double pay for graveyard shifts. At 26, third floor felt like promotion. 12 residents, advanced dementia, locked-in cases, no families after 7. Quiet, efficient, professional. By week 2, they weren't stories anymore. They were doors. 312, 310, 314. Just doors. Routine was sacred. 10 p.m. meds, 11:30 checks, 1 a.m. turns, 3 a.m. final round. After that, tea and scrolling until sunrise. 9 nights passed clean. On the 10th night, my sister called at 2:41 a.m. I almost didn't answer. 312's bell rang while the phone vibrated in my pocket. I stared at the door, then at her name on my screen. I stepped away from the door. "Dee Dee, they said if I don't pay by Friday." The bell kept ringing. I told myself 1 minute, just 1 minute. I didn't remember when it stopped. At 2:47 a.m., 312 rang again. Elias Crow hadn't spoken a full sentence since 2018. When I entered, he was lying flat, eyes closed, cord untouched, vitals perfect. I logged it as malfunction. At 3:12 a.m., it rang again. This time, the cord lay neatly coiled on the floor. At 3:38 a.m., he was sitting upright. No pillows, spine straight, eyes clear. "Good evening, nurse." My throat dried. "Mr. Crow?" He smiled politely. "You're late." Every bell on the floor chimed, soft, patient, expectant. I ran to the station. No signal, landline dead. The lift dinged open, empty. Inside, a soft female voice said, "Last round, dear. Don't forget 312. The doors refused to close. Down the corridor, doors began opening. Vera stood by her window, dressed. Ruth, who had never spoken, stood in the hall. All of them upright, healthier, younger, watching. I ran, down the stairs, past 2 floors, into the lobby. Khan looked up from his desk. "3rd floor?" He frowned. "Beta, that wing closed last year, after the nurse went missing." My stomach dropped. "What nurse?" He shrugged. "Night shift. They never found her." The next week, I was scheduled on 2nd floor. At 1:12 a.m., I heard it. 312. Impossible. Empty wing. I told myself I imagined it. At 1:18, 318. 1:25, 314. By 1:45, the bells formed a cathedral of sound. My hands were shaking when I pressed the lift. It opened. I stepped inside. The doors closed on their own. The corridor was waiting. Identical. Names on doors. Smell of bleach and old coins. But this time, they weren't in bed. They were standing in the hall. Elias folded a newspaper that didn't exist. Vera smiled, disappointed. Ruth stepped forward. "You stopped answering," she said clearly. Her voice was warm, almost kind. I shook my head. "I was doing my job." Elias tilted his head. You answered the phone. The air tightened. You told yourself we wouldn't know. Vera smiled gently. But we rang. Ruth stepped closer. You stopped seeing us. Behind me, doors opened one by one. Inside each room, empty beds, cords hanging, waiting. I can leave, I whispered. The fire exit clicked open behind me. Fresh air, freedom. Then my phone buzzed. My sister's name. I looked at the door. I looked at the corridor. The bells were ringing again. Not loud, not angry, just patient, waiting. I could walk out. I could choose daylight. Instead, I silenced the phone and turned back. The corridor stretched. Lights dimmed. Elias approached, strong and upright. You're here because you walk away, he said softly. Ruth took my hand, cold. You'll learn the schedule. The floor shifted beneath me. Stairs spiraled downward. Each step chimed like a bell. Landing. Door 312. My name on it. Inside, a woman lay sleeping, young, peaceful. My face. A faint scar on her wrist from childhood when I pushed my sister off her bike and she forgave me anyway. Unmistakable. She opened her eyes. My eyes. Sat up. Good evening, nurse. I tried to scream. No sound came because somewhere down the corridor a bell was ringing. And this time I didn't hesitate. I stepped toward it. They say the third floor is cursed. It isn't. It keeps the ones who stop answering. And now, when the bell rings at 2:41 a.m., I'm always on time. In the quiet hours, we guard bodies and memories. Sometimes what knocks isn't after what's locked away. It's after the fragile warmth of being remembered at all.